Here's how not to waste your fucking 30s. Now, I'm only 29, so what the fuck do I know? But as a 29-year-old entrepreneur and making multiple seven figures, and an individual who went from a drug addict, alcoholic loser to an individual who is sober, crushing it in life, I might be able to give you a trajectory to better your future just like I did in my 20s. Before we go into how to take control of your life, let me rewind with you for a minute and tell you a little bit about myself. You see, at 20 years old, I was a fucking loser. I was that dude who only ever focused on two things: drinking and doing drugs. Well, three things: random fucking women. I wasn't getting anywhere. You see, at 19 years old, I decided to do a road trip with my two best friends. We drove from Thunder Bay to Calgary, Alberta. Now, keep in mind, I'm not proud of this. However, it is a funny story. We decided to do a drinking road trip, and we picked up multiple hitchhikers and got them blasted out of their fucking mind while doing something called geocaching. If you don't know what that is, it is an online treasure map, treasure hunting app that you can get, which has multiple treasure chests all over the fucking world. So it was a blast. It was a good time. But again, we only focused on three things that entire road trip when we got to Calgary and spent an entire week there, which was drinking, drugs, and girls. That was it, because we had nothing else going on in our life. And because we were young. That's what we were told to do. Live your life, drink, party it up, have fun, YOLO. That's everybody's fucking motto back in the day, and it was my motto forever. So that's all I ever focused on. It's all I ever fucking did. Then I thought I was gonna have my transformation journey. I thought I had my opportunity to fucking transform, because when we went to leave back to Thunder Bay, when I got the opportunity to leave back to my hometown, my older brother, my half sibling at the time, who lived in Calgary, was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Cole, you're 19 years old. You don't have anything back home waiting for you other than a job as an overnight stalker at Walmart. Why the fuck are you going home?" I sat back. I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Why the fuck would you go home?" I'm like, "Because I don't have anything here." I'm like, "All my friends are back home. My job is back home. My life is back home." He's like, "Your friends are back home. Your job fucking sucks back home. And you have no fucking life back home. So why would you go?" I sat with it and I thought about it. I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense. I was like, "Well, what would I do here?" He's like, "Well, if I got you a fucking job interview, would you stay?" I was like, "Yeah." So he ended up making a couple calls, and then next thing you know, I was on a job site, the job site of a builder, Scott Builders. And my interview was verbatim, "Can you pick up that beam?" So I walked over and I picked up the beam and I moved it over a little bit and I put it back down, and they're like, "Dope, you're hired as an $18 an hour laborer." Which to me was a lot of fucking money, because I was only getting paid $13 an hour to be an overnight stalker at Walmart, and I had never had a job with that much responsibility. Not to mention, what was I gonna lose? I went from sleeping on my buddy's couch back home, drinking and doing drugs all the time, to moving to Alberta for a job with more pay, to sleep on my siblings' couches, where I knew nobody. I didn't really lose anything. Now keep in mind, it felt like a big loss back then, but when I look back at it now, I didn't really lose anything, I gained everything. But the reason why it was a weird conundrum is because I went from being a fucking loser over here just to being a fucking loser over here. You see, I thought that was gonna be the catalyst to transform my fucking life. I was still going through it, but I thought I was gonna go from young shithead loser doing nothing with my life to a 20-year-old stud with a job killing it in Calgary, Alberta. That did not fucking happen. For the next 3.5 years, I struggled with addiction as an iron worker. You see, I became an iron worker and I started to crush it as a laborer, but my brute ass only wanted to do as hard as work as possible and push my body into the ground. And very quickly, I started to wake up with chicken feet as hands. All right, I started to develop carpal tunnel in my forearms and I couldn't lift anything. The doctors couldn't help me. They told me to work it out with a lacrosse ball and take some ibuprofen. And then next thing you know, I found my own solution. I got addicted to Percocets. So my entire catalyst transformation journey that I thought was gonna happen quickly fucking crashed and burned. And I thought nothing was ever going to change. I spent 3 to 3.5 years as an iron worker, struggling mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially. Had no fucking friends. Either lived on my brother's couch or my sister's couch, going nowhere. Every friend that I did have only wanted to do the same things that my old friends did, which was drink and do drugs. I just traded my old life for the new life that looked the same as my fucking old life. And it wasn't until I found fitness that my entire life transformed. You see, I reached a point in my life where I couldn't even look in the fucking mirror. I actually hated my own reflection. I was so mad at myself because I had thrown away my past, all my old friendships, all the old people that I had love for, to move to a new city to transfer my life just to become an even bigger fucking loser than I used to be. Because now I was just the loner doing drugs when no one else was around. Now I was the loner drinking when no one else was around. And I had nobody. I also was a fucking nobody. At least back home, I had a little bit of clout. People knew my name. So I fucking hated myself. And after shitty situation of me getting drunk and embarrassing myself here, and high and embarrassing myself here, and rejected here, and broken here, and so many bad fucking memories. I looked in the mirror one day and was like, that's it, bro, you're done. Like, I'm so sick of this fucking life. And I dumped all the pills that I had remaining in the toilet, and I decided to go cold turkey off Percocets and all the extra strength Robaxacet I was eating to get the little hint of codeine that was in them because I was running out of fucking Percocets. And after I went through the pill sickness of my knees aching and cold sweats and my legs feeling like they were gonna fall off my fucking body and all this other bullshit, I dove into fitness. And keep in mind, I had no direction. I was just iron working for anywhere from 10 to 12 hours outside. And then right after I was done that, I'd go to the gym. I would just do the same thing every day. I refused to go to the bar. I refused to hang out with anybody. That's just all I did was work, gym, work, gym, work, gym, boxing, work, gym, boxing, work, gym, boxing. It was my regular schedule. It's what became my savior routine. And it's pretty crazy that that happened, because when that happened, everything started to transform. The timeline is construed for me, but around 6 months after I decided to make that change into a sober lifestyle off of drugs, and I worked on my own fitness, I met Brian, who's my current best friend and business partner. He actually became my first fitness coach. And I met him through the same guy that introduced me to Percocets. You see, because he was dating a girl, and that girl's brother was underneath Brian as a fitness competitor. We ended up getting on the phone. He sold me into his competitive package to become a fitness competitor. And then 6 months later, I stepped on stage for the very first time, winning first in overalls in a fitness competition. That was entry level in Calgary, Alberta. That shit drastically changed everything, because I saw what I could be if I bet on self and actually did something with my life. It's just mental to see how much has transformed in the last 8 years, because I made a decision to focus on self and actually bet on me. What's next is going to be huge. You see, I look at this vision board every single day, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it's fucking important to me. Now, it's crazy when I look at my current vision and where I would like to go with my life, because again, I always remember where we were just before 2016. I remember not having money, living in a 600 square foot apartment, struggling for fucking cash, not having a car. It's just crazy that so much has fucking changed. And now I look at a vision board and I'm like, I want all these supercars, and I've already got 2 of them. I want fucking vacation houses all over the place and a massive mansion for my family, and I've already got one of those things. And I want to speak on stages in front of thousands and thousands of people, and I'm already doing that, just not at the scale that I would like to yet. All right, I want a fucking warehouse / office with our fucking businesses so we can bring people down and operate at a high level. I want hundreds of millions of followers, and I'm headed there right now. I've got a beautiful wife and 1 kid already. I'm looking for 2 more. I want a godlike physique and stage presence. Like, I look at this every single day because this paints what everybody told me that I could never achieve in my life. This paints the vision that I had when I was a kid that I was too scared to fucking express, because everybody would have told me that I was crazy. Everybody would have told me, not Cole, you just an alcoholic. Not Cole, you just a drug addict. Not Cole, you just a fucking loser who never commits to anything in their life. And now when I look at this, it doesn't intimidate me, because I've already done a quarter of it. And this is supposed to be like a 25-year vision. I've already took massive leaps and steps towards achieving some of these things that I thought would never be possible. Like, the jet in the middle isn't just about taking private jets. Me and my business partner want a private jet because we want to be able to transform our family anywhere in the entire world so they can live and experience what we experience. But also, we want to be able to fly people on that jet and do business with them and just live the high-class lifestyle, because we were always told that we could never do that. Now, the reason why I keep repeating the fact that it's crazy to look at where I am now and to look at the vision that I want to achieve is because I never thought that I would live past the age of 25. Now, I don't say that lightly. It's not like I was in a gang or I was dealing with any sort of fucking intense trauma. I just didn't want to. I had no purpose to live past the age of 25. I had no vision of my goddamn life. I didn't care about anything other than doing drugs and drinking. I hated everybody around me in a very big fucking way, but mostly just because I hated my fucking self. So I used to openly say on a continual basis, homie, if I just live past the age of 25, I'm good, take me after that. And there was multiple things that happened in my life where I look back now and I'm like, how the fuck did I not die? How the fuck did I not end up in jail? How the fuck am I sitting in this goddamn chair talking to you today, hoping that you transform and take control of your life in your 30s like I did in my 20s? It's insane to look back, because when you look back, it paints how you created the current future you're living. Now, I know I've been rambling about my life and how I transformed from 20 to 29 years old, hoping to inspire you, to make you understand that you can transform from 30 to 40, because it is fucking possible. In my years from 30 to 40, I've got crazy fucking plans, and I'm hoping that you can take something from this video to do the same shit with your own life. So here's some tips that I want you to embrace. First, take control of your fucking fitness. Watch what you put in your goddamn mouth. And that means you're actually gonna have to do some work. Drink 3 to 4 liters of water every single day. Walk an extra 2,000 steps every day. Download an app called My Fucking Fitness Pal and actually track the food you're eating. Stop just saying that you're eating healthy and that you're eating a good amount. Track it. If you don't track it, you're not doing anything. You're not taking this shit seriously. Fitness is the foundation. Don't be the person who only focuses on business or relationships and then dies early because they neglected fitness and health. Build your foundation so you can scale on top of that. Secondly, and almost more important than the first one, which was fitness, work on your mindset. You guys work on every single muscle and every single skill that you have, but you neglect your brain and your mindset. So you allow gossip and negativity and pessimism seep into your fucking brain, and then you now believe that you're a victim. And you play the poor me card every fucking day. And then you whine that life is too hard on you and shit's easier said than done, when in reality, you have the power to take control of your situation. Because if I can go from a fucking loser who grew up in a trailer 45 minutes into the country and dealt with drugs and alcohol problems his entire childhood until 23 years old and then transformed in the last 6 years, you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's never too late. How do you work on your mindset? Do something to change your fucking habits and rituals. Wake up early. Do some affirmation journaling, some gratitude journaling. Learn how to meditate. Do something. Stop hanging out with fucking losers. Going into point number 3, look at your circle. Audit your circle. Be alone from time to time. Even though the transition from 19 to 23 was incredibly painful because I left everybody I fucking knew back home just to come to another city, to become a bigger loser, to build some wannabe friendships, to then lose all of those, to be alone again. That shit molded who you are listening to today. Embracing that loneliness, work, gym, boxing, home alone, work, gym, boxing, home alone, that loneliness, that grind made me this person. It also separated me from all the fucking losers who just wanted to drink and do drugs and play victim and play the poor me card all the time. You guys gotta level the fuck up. Choose to be great, choose to be better. Getting stuck in a self-pity loop isn't the answer. Action is.